I reported my OBGYN to the medical board after he did a procedure I specifically said no to. I went in today just to get my birth control refilled. That's it. Nothing fancy, just a quick appointment to get my prescription renewed for another year. When I got to the office, the nurse took me back to the exam room and told me to undress and get ready for my pap smear. I was confused because I literally just had one done last year. I told her that, and she said, "Oh no, we do them every year here, not every 3 years." I explained that I was really just there for my birth control and asked if I could just talk to the doctor and skip a pap smear. She seemed unsure, but said she'd go check with him. A few minutes later, she came back and said, "Okay, the doctor says you don't need the pap to get your birth control, but you still have to do a breast exam and a pelvic exam." I thought, fine, whatever, if that's what I have to do to get my prescription, then let's just get it over with. At least I don't have to do the pap smear part. The doctor came in a few minutes later and asked if I had any questions. He specifically confirmed with me that I was there to get my birth control refilled. I said yes. Then he asked to confirm that I was not getting a pap smear today. I said yes, that's correct, no pap smear. He seemed totally fine with it and started with the breast exam. Everything was normal there. Then he moved on to the pelvic exam, but before he actually did the pelvic exam, he pulled out the speculum and started doing a pap smear. The whole thing. Cervical scraping, forceps, all of it. I was laying there thinking there's absolutely no way this is happening right now. We literally just confirmed 2 minutes ago that we weren't doing this procedure. My mind was racing, but I kind of froze up because I was in such a vulnerable position. I couldn't believe he was actually doing the exact thing he just confirmed we weren't going to do. When he was finished, he did the regular pelvic exam like nothing weird had just happened. Then as he was walking out of the room, he casually said, "You'll get your pap smear results in a few days." I just stared at the ceiling feeling completely violated and confused. Like, did that really just happen? I pulled the nurse aside before I left, the same one who had checked with him earlier. I told her what happened and that it was really messed up. She looked genuinely shocked and kept apologizing. She said she really did tell him and that she'd put a note in my file to make sure next year we only do the breast exam and pelvic exam with no pap smear. But honestly, how much can I trust that note after what just happened today? When I got home, I started cramping and spotting, which is totally normal after a pap smear. But every time I felt a cramp, I got angry all over again because this shouldn't be happening to me right now. I specifically said no to this procedure. My roommate came home and found me looking up medical board complaint forms online. She asked what was wrong and I told her everything. She was furious and said that's literally assault and that I needed to report him immediately. Part of me wondered if I was overreacting. Like, pap smears are preventative care and they're good for your health. Maybe he thought he was helping me, but then I remembered his face when he confirmed with me that we weren't doing it. He knew. He absolutely knew I didn't want it done and he did it anyway. I filed the complaint that night, detailed everything that happened, how I specifically opted out, how the nurse confirmed it with him, how he verbally confirmed it with me again, and then how he did it anyway without my consent. 2 weeks later, I got a call from the medical board saying they were opening an investigation. Apparently, I wasn't the first person to complain about him doing procedures without proper consent. There were 3 other women who had similar experiences. The office called me a few days after that asking me to come back in to discuss my complaint. I told them I'd be finding a new doctor and that they could expect to hear from my lawyer.